If you take a look at this chart here, what this is showing is since 1976 through August of 2022, this is showing the ranges of outcomes you might expect on the S&P 500. So these blue bars here, what this is showing you the range of outcomes you can expect on that very same investment that I told you averages 10% per year over long periods of time. I also mentioned it does not ever return exactly 10%, at least it hasn't historically yet. So what we look at is we say, okay, what's the best ever year that it's had? Well, its best ever year, it was up 61% in a single year. That's a wonderful 12-month experience in the S&P 500, but the worst ever experience, it was down over 43% in a single year. So as you look at this range of outcomes, that's really difficult. This is the equivalent to going on a hike and having no idea what you're going to be hit with, so you need to prepare for the worst, and in doing so, it will allow you to be prepared for the best as well. So yes, can you get great long-term returns with the S&P 500? Absolutely you can, but don't expect it to be consistent every year. Expect huge ranges of outcome, but also know those ranges of outcome, while they start like this, they do start to narrow over time. Here's what I mean by this. Let's now fast forward to 5 years. Well, what you've seen is the range of outcomes. The high isn't so high, goes down to that, but the low isn't so low, goes down to that. So the best 5-year return, the annualized return, was 30% per year, and the worst 5-year return it's had over this time period was negative 6.6%. So as the range of outcomes started here, they start to narrow. Well, now let's go to 20 years. Over 20 years, what you see is the range of outcome starts to get really narrow. Those down or those worst possible years, they're still going to be well below the long-term average, but they're not going to be nearly as bad. But also the higher end of that range, it's going to be better than the long-term average, but it's not going to be quite as high as any potential 1-year or 3-year or 5-year returns. To quantify it, the best ever 20-year time period the S&P's had during this time period was up about 18.2%. And then the worst 20-year time period it's had during this time period, it was up about 4.8%. Once again, I'm James Knoll, founder of Root Financial, and if you're interested in seeing how we help our clients at Root Financial get the most out of life with their money, be sure to visit us at www.rootfinancialpartners.com.